Imagine this. You wake up, not to the sun, but to a voice. It's coming from a metal screen in the corner of your room, a screen that never, ever turns off. You get up, and the first thing you see on the grimy wall outside your window is a poster. It's a man's face, with a heavy mustache and eyes that seem to follow you no matter where you stand. And underneath that face, in stark block letters, are 4 simple words. Big Brother is watching you. This isn't just a slogan, it's a fact of life. It's the air you breathe, the constant low-level hum of anxiety in the back of your mind. This is the world of 1984, and you are never, ever alone. The city, London, is part of a superstate called Oceania. But it's not the London you might picture. This is a place drained of color, a landscape of gray concrete and peeling paint. Everything seems to be crumbling, yet somehow it never fully collapses, held together by a force more powerful than any steel or stone. The people move with a kind of hurried emptiness, their faces blank, their shoulders hunched. They avoid eye contact, not out of shyness, but out of a deep instinctual fear. The very act of looking at someone for too long could be misinterpreted, reported, and punished. Everywhere you look, the party's presence is overwhelming. Giant posters of Big Brother are plastered on every available surface, his eyes, a constant reminder of the surveillance state. But it's not just the posters, there are the slogans too, painted in huge letters on the sides of buildings. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. These phrases are not just nonsensical, they are a deliberate attack on reality itself. They are designed to short-circuit your brain, to make you question the very foundation of logic, until you have no choice but to accept what you are told, no matter how absurd it sounds. This constant psychological pressure is the backdrop for every single moment of life in Oceania. The government of Oceania is run by 4 ministries, and their names are a masterclass in psychological manipulation. First, you have the Ministry of Peace, which naturally is in charge of waging perpetual war. Then there's the Ministry of Plenty, which oversees the economy and ensures that there are constant shortages of everything. Shoelaces, razor blades. The Ministry of Love is the most feared of all. It's the center for law and order. It's the headquarters for interrogation, torture, and complete re-education. And finally, there is the Ministry of Truth, which deals in lies. Its entire purpose is to rewrite history. These names are a perfect example of what the party calls doublethink. It's the ability to hold 2 completely contradictory ideas in your mind at the same time and to believe both of them. You know the Ministry of Peace is waging war, but you also accept its name as accurate. This mental gymnastics is essential for survival. It forces the population to accept the party's version of reality over their own senses. It's not just propaganda, it's a fundamental rewiring of human consciousness. The most direct tool of control is the telescreen. Think of it as a smart TV that you can't turn off and that is always watching and listening to you. It's in every home, every office, and every public space. The telescreen broadcasts a constant stream of party propaganda, glorious military victories, patriotic songs, statistics proving how much better life is now than it was before the revolution. But its primary function is surveillance. Behind the screen, an agent of the thought police could be watching your every move, analyzing your facial expressions for any sign of dissent, a nervous tick, a frown at the wrong moment. It could all be interpreted as thought crime. This creates a world with absolutely no privacy. You live your entire life as if you were on stage, performing for an unseen and unforgiving audience. Our main character, Winston Smith, works at the Ministry of Truth, or Mini-True in the government's clipped language, known as Newspeak. His job is a perfect illustration of how the party controls not just the present, but the past. Winston is an editor, but he doesn't create new stories. He destroys old ones. He sits in a small cubicle with a device called a speakwrite, dictating corrections to old newspaper articles, books, records. If the party changes its mind about an ally in the war, or if a particular party official falls out of favor and becomes an unperson, it's Winston's job to go back and erase them from history. For example, if the party announced a chocolate ration of 20 grams, but had previously promised 30 grams, Winston's job is to find the original promise and change it to 20 grams. The original document is then sent down a pneumatic tube into a massive furnace in the heart of the building, a furnace nicknamed the memory hole. The evidence of the past is literally burned away, replaced by a new, fabricated history that perfectly aligns with the party's current narrative. The past becomes whatever the party says it is. With no reliable records, no photographs, and no objective history books to consult, people's memories become foggy and unreliable. How can you be sure of what you remember if every piece of evidence says you're wrong? The party's slogan, "Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past," is made real every single day in the halls of True. By controlling all information in the present, the party can reshape history at will, ensuring that its power seems inevitable and absolute. He sees the system from the inside, and it fills him with a deep, simmering hatred for the party's total control over reality. Winston's first major act of rebellion is small, almost pathetic, but in his world, it's a crime punishable by death. He buys a diary. It's a beautiful blank book with smooth, creamy paper, a relic from a time before the party. He found it in a dusty junk shop in one of the poorer, less monitored parts of the city. Just owning such an object is suspicious, but writing in it is an explicit act of thought crime. He has to be incredibly careful, hiding the book in a small alcove in his apartment that is just out of the direct line of sight of the telescreen. Even so, the risk is immense. One day, he sits down with the book and a pen, his heart pounding. For a long time, he can't think of what to write. Then, almost involuntarily, his pen starts moving. Over and over again, he scrawls the same 3 words in messy capital letters across the page. Down with Big Brother. Seeing the words on paper is both terrifying and liberating. It's the first time he has ever given physical form to his hatred. It's a thought made real, an undeniable piece of evidence of his own private rebellion against the system that suffocates him. Writing in the diary becomes his secret escape. It's the one place where he can be himself, where he can record his true thoughts and memories without the fear of the thought police. He writes about his frustration with the party's lies, his contempt for the mindless conformity of his colleagues, his faint, dreamlike memories of his mother, and a time before the constant state of war and deprivation. He questions everything, from the ever-changing war alliances to the lottery that is supposed to be for the proles, but which he suspects is a complete sham. The diary is his anchor to sanity. This act of writing is a desperate attempt to hold on to his own version of reality. In a world where the past is constantly being erased and rewritten, his diary is a personal historical record. He writes not for the future because he doesn't believe there is one, but for himself. He is trying to prove that his own mind, his own memories, are real. It's a lonely and dangerous struggle, a single man pitting his consciousness against the colossal lie-making machine of the state. Just as Winston begins to think he is completely alone in his silent rebellion, his life takes an unexpected turn. He notices a young woman at work, a dark-haired girl who he initially distrusts. Her name is Julia. She seems like a zealous party member, active in all the right youth leagues and anti-sex campaigns. But one day she stumbles in the hallway, and as he helps her up, she slips a small folded note into his hand. He opens it later, in the privacy of a bathroom stall, his hands trembling. The note contains 3 shocking words: "I love you." This simple message is a thunderclap in his gray, controlled existence. In Oceania, love and desire are political acts. The party actively discourages any personal loyalties that might compete with one's loyalty to Big Brother. Sex is meant to be a joyless duty, a means of producing new party members and nothing more. A genuine, passionate connection between 2 people is a dangerous form of rebellion. So, when Winston and Julia begin their secret affair, they are not just seeking pleasure, they are committing a revolutionary act. They are choosing their own feelings over the cold dictates of the state. Their relationship unfolds in stolen moments and hidden places, in crowded market streets where they can whisper without being overheard, and in the countryside, far from the telescreens and microphones. They find a small dilapidated room above the same junk shop where Winston bought his diary. This room becomes their sanctuary. It contains no telescreen. Here, for a few precious hours at a time, they can be themselves. They make love, they talk freely, and they indulge in small luxuries like real coffee and sugar, goods obtained on the black market. These are small acts of defiance, but they feel like monumental victories. For Winston, the affair is not just about physical connection, it's about reclaiming a piece of his humanity. Julia is different from him. She isn't interested in grand political theories or overthrowing the party. Her rebellion is more personal and instinctual. She simply wants to enjoy life, to break the rules for the sake of breaking them. Her simple, carnal rebellion awakens something in Winston. Their love affair, however doomed, is a pocket of warmth and color in a world of cold gray. It's a reminder that human connection, desire, and joy are powerful forces that the party, for all its technology and terror, struggles to completely extinguish. While his secret life with Julia blossoms, Winston finds himself drawn to O'Brien, a high-ranking inter-party member. Based on a single fleeting glance across a room, Winston sees a flicker of shared intelligence. Winston senses dissent. He becomes obsessed with the idea O'Brien is in the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood, underground resistance to overthrow Big Brother. This belief becomes his great hope. Eventually O'Brien makes contact. He approaches casually but deliberately. He makes a subtle reference confirming Winston's suspicions. He invites them to his luxurious apartment, opulent apartment versus squalid living conditions, and O'Brien turns off his telescreen, a rare inter-party privilege. He confirms the Brotherhood is real and that he's part of it. He asks what they'll do for the cause. They pledge anything, to cheat, to lie, even to murder. As a final initiation, O'Brien gives Winston the forbidden book, The Theory and Practice of Oligarchical Collectivism, the book's cover. Winston returns to the secret room, reads it voraciously to Julia. The book explains everything he suspected. It reveals the party doesn't seek power for greater good. Seeks power purely for its own sake. It explains doublethink, perpetual war, total control. Reading the book is profound validation. A light is turned on in a dark room. He's dawned by Zanbe. The Bokun He's no longer alone. The book forms the intellectual framework for his hatred. He and Julia feel part of a grand, organized conspiracy. They've found purpose. But this dawn of hope is actually the final move of a meticulously planned trap. The illusion of safety shatters without warning. As Winston and Julia lie in their secret room, a cold iron voice speaks from behind a picture on the wall. A telescreen had been hidden there all along, recording their every word, their every touch. The room is stormed by the black uniformed guards of the Thought Police. Their sanctuary is violated, and they are dragged away to the one place everyone fears, the Ministry of Love. Here, the process of Winston's unmaking begins. The goal is not to kill him, but to cure him of his insanity, to break him down and rebuild him in the party's image. The torture is systematic and relentless. Starved, beaten, interrogated, time loses all meaning. The process is overseen by O'Brien himself. He reveals he was never a rebel but a loyal party operative. O'Brien acts not as a sadist, but as a teacher, as a priest, patiently explaining party philosophy while inflicting unbearable pain. He tells Winston that reality is not external. It exists only in the human mind, and since the party controls the mind, it controls reality. He holds up 4 fingers, and, through pain and manipulation, forces Winston to see 5. After body and mind are broken, Winston is taken to the final stage, room 101.
Do a Julia! Do a Julia! Not me! Julia! I don't care what you do to her. Tear her face off. Strip her to the bones. Not me. Julia! Not me!
With that cry, the party achieves its ultimate victory. It has not just broken Winston's spirit, it has made him sever the deepest human bond he had. He is hollowed out completely. The torture ends, the cage is removed, and conversion is complete. He is cured. He is free to go, because the man he used to be no longer exists. All that is left is love for Big Brother.